to see you guys. You guys are fucking patriots. Look at this guy. He's got respect for doing. There's 4 million people coming in. It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
What is the cost of lies? It's not that we'll mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all.
Why would I have anything to say to you? All you do is lie.
What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?
It's the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction.
Take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans. Right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
That is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
When you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
About is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Greetings from land of United Kingdom Soviet Republic. Everyone is very, very happy here. Yes, extremely happy. Do not look over there. There is not Commissar standing out of camera threatening me with possible gulag. That is misinformation and very, very nasty rumor. I am completely free to say whatever I like. That is definitely not AK-47 being held by police community support officer who is black and gay and trans, threatening that if I do not feverishly support party line, I will be dragged off to diversity gulag. Everything is great in UK SSR. We love it here. We have very, very much food. There is no crime. Money is abundant. We have very, very much energy. Incredibly much better than any other country in the world, and do not say otherwise, or diversity officer commissar will get extremely angry at me. No. A glimpse of the future, perhaps. Welcome everyone to another night of Habbening TV, broadcasting to you live from the UK SR. Oh, it's lovely here. It's lovely here. I've had a very, very nice bowl of diversity and sustainable gulag. You see, it's made from like sort of unidentified lentils. Diverse lentils of color. Obviously, it makes me feel all good and sustainable inside. You know, I'm loving it. I hope you're all well. I hope you all have your diversity commissars with you. And be warned, any spicy stuff in the chat will be reported to the new office of UK SSR Disinformation Properties. We wouldn't want any disinformation getting around. It looks like the crackdown is not really abating. There's been a bunch more people just straight up arrested for social media posts. It's pretty creepy, bros. I'm not gonna lie. Is it just remember the days? Does anyone remember the days when you actually had to be like a criminal to be arrested? And now, right, you say spicy stuff on social media, you get arrested, you go out and stab someone, and basically you get let off. It's a topsy-turvy world, bros. It's a topsy-turvy world. Who can say, I guess, what is crime anymore? Thank goodness we have our glorious leader, Keir Starlin, to tell us what is crime and what is not. If we left those kind of decisions up to ordinary people, imagine where we would be. People would be put in jail for stabbing random passers-by, and social media posts would go unpoliced. A terrible, terrible state of affairs. Tonight we have, our first story is, the crackdown. All the other sort of normies, right-wing normies, obviously, getting arrested for social media posts. Then we have a new revelation about the Nordstream bombing. It turns out, bros, it was just some Ukrainian guy on a yacht, with some other Ukrainian dudes. It was all run on a shoestring. Hey, dude, look, the Wall Street Journal says it's true. And if there's one thing I have learned about the modern world, it's if the Wall Street Journal says it's true, you can take that to the bank. And the bank will tell you we don't have any of your money because it's all been siphoned out by BlackRock. Why didn't you read that in the Wall Street Journal? And I'll be like, you expect me to keep up with the Wall Street Journal? Give me my money. And the bank will be like, nah, sorry. But yes, you can take that to the bank. And our final story tonight is Monkeypox is back. Oh, that terrible, terrible monkey. Oh, sorry. It's Mpox. Monkeypox was apparently derogatory or something, or had the wrong impression that it came from monkeys. Given the connection to Africa, that might be considered slightly racist or something. Look, I can't even keep up. But yes, Mpox is back. The World Health Organization has used their favorite power. They have many powers, but their favoritist power of all is the PHEIC, the Public Health Emergency of International Concern. Woo! Are you concerned? Much concern, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's back, and they're still not really sort of talking about how it's, mainly spread by degenerate sexual contact. I presume because, I don't know, maybe they'll, it will induce less panic. Current state of affairs seems to be, if you stay out of gay orgies, you are relatively safe from being exposed to Mpox. Particularly, do not go to any gay orgies in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, so look, I know many in the chat were looking to go to the the sponsored Blacked event in Congo in a couple of months. I would steer clear of that, bros. I know your lust for African men cannot be denied, but just until it dies down. Don't worry, there's always the one in Nigeria. A couple of months after that, I'm sure you can wait that long. Anyway, let's see if we've got the chat. On Rumble, Seti Sapiente, Fox39, Forever, Wyatt's Torch, J, Chiva Loophole, Livia Drusilla, Livia Drusilla. How stupid do they think we are? I don't know. Is there an upper limit? Anybody else? No, that seems to be everyone in the Rumble chat. Oh, and Yiz the Eunuch, of course. I will be on Empire of Lies tonight with Yiz the Eunuch for a very, very black-pilling episode about what is about to happen to the country of Austria, according to the new Club of Rome framework. You wouldn't want to miss it unless you don't want to have nightmares. And Total Blackout Painting, of course. Good to see you, man. I think it's everybody. On YouTube, we have The Nameless One, Budgie Burger, Total Blackout Painting again. Cyber Chud Internal Affairs. Good to see you, mate. Emmanuel Goldstein. Good to see you, Emmanuel. Anybody else? I think that's it. Right. And on the Odyssey chat, we have Pelagius 14. I think that's it. Okay. Right. So today's meme, of course. Touching grass is not enough for you. I need the horrible things to happen to a powerful paper. Pretty much, right? Look, you could go out and touch grass, but is touching grass going to make any fundamental changes to the power elite? That's what you need to be asking yourself. The answer, of course, is no, unless you import that very, very special power elite suffering grass, and who can afford that stuff, right? Only the elite, unironically, can afford the power elite suffering grass. I just don't understand it, bros. Anyway, it's that's it. Time to get on to the news. But before we get on to the news, check it out.
We need Earth monies to appear as normal Earth pigs. Mini Moose, how much have we earned?
Yes, I need Earth monies. If you would like to donate some of your Earth monies, you can do so via Entropy or Rants on Rumble. Linkies are pinned in all the chats. Check it out. Please donate some of your hard-earned shekels to this humble streamer. Let's get on with the news. Just let me find the right window here. Right, so we start with the new normal in the UKSR. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. Woman 52 is remanded in custody after appearing in court accused of buying eggs and water for rioters to throw at police. Imprisoned for buying eggs and water. She didn't throw any of the eggs or water. She just bought them. She has pleaded not guilty to violent disorder. So, I mean, at least she has pleaded not guilty, right? So, you know, the state will actually have to prove that said flour and water was bought with malicious intent. She probably bought the extra malicious flour and the extra evil water, bros. You know, the one you go into the shop and they're right at the back behind the counter. There's that stack of flour that's like extremely evil flour for very, very dirty deeds, you know, for insidious subversive baking. Prosecutor Susan Ludlow alleged that Barker was a, quote, willing participant in the disorder and aided and abetted the riots by buying eggs and water from a nearby shop for protesters on July 31st. Defending, John Black told the court that Barker went to the area because she was nosy and was not present when violence occurred. Now, this is basically what has been going on. Anyone who was in the area of the disturbances, which now, you know, in retrospect look a lot smaller, looks like they were massively sort of magnified for just this kind of like an outcome. If you had watched my thing on 6th Generational Warfare, you would know that this was exactly what was going to happen. They're basically trawling through live streams, they're trawling through police camera footage, they're running facial recognition stuff all over it, and they're just like grabbing anyone that they can identify and slamming them straight in jail because it has been passed down from Keir Starmer himself that no one, everyone involved has to get a custodial sentence because, you know, they were very, very short of prison places until suddenly they weren't, weirdly enough. Seti sapiente, delicious intent. Best kind of intent. Quite. She is remanded in custody and will appear in Manchester Crown Court on September 3rd for a plea trial and preparation hearings. Right, so she's already getting 3 weeks in jail, even before the trial. Fuck knows how long that's going to take. Elsewhere, a teenage father who threw flaming arrows at police during a riot in Rotherham has been jailed after giving himself up. And, you know, and there's other stuff, right? Obviously, you know, people like throwing stuff. Yeah, they've just been using facial recognition to go after all of these people. There have also been, check out these photos, man. Oh, what a gammon! Look at the racist. Oh, it looks like a racist to me. White people, am I right? Judge Dale's keyboard warrior who wrote Facebook posts calling for mosque to be blown up, Julia Sweeney, a quiet 53-year-old wife from Cheshire, is sentenced to 15 months after pleading guilty to an offence under online safety laws. She's lived a quiet, sheltered life. Has no criminal record, has never done anything basically wrong. But the judge was like, well, you posted a comment to your local community Facebook group. Don't use Facebook, bros. Probably no one listening needs to hear this, but don't use Facebook. It is a massive honey trap. You know, unless you're into it for like gay porn or wife swapping. Apparently then that's all fine, basically, right? Jailing her for 15 months, the judge told her that even people like you need to go to prison. White people like you. So Badrari, prosecuting, told the court one of the group's 15 5,100 members became uneasy at a number of comments posted on the site in the wake of widespread violent disorder and snitched on her. Nation of snitches, don't you love it? Following a post that showed white and Asian people involved in the cleanup from the aftermath of the Southport disorder, Sweeney posted, quote, "It's absolutely ridiculous. Don't protect the mosques. Blow the mosques up with the adults inside it." Miss Baudry said the concerned member found the post offensive and snitched on her. Police were alerted about the post, which was later deleted. When arrested, Sweeney told the officers, "I'm not being rude, but there are a lot of people saying it." Well, you know, you are about to be an example. To stop a counter-narrative from forming, the government is just going to arrest random people and not deal with any of the actual problems. Of course, right? I mean, look, being in government means never having to say you are sorry. She said that she posted the comment in anger. How dare she be angry? How dare she? Don't you know it's 2020-something, it's current year? You don't have absolutely no right to be angry. You're white. Have you considered being black and or trans? Then you could be angry at the system and against racism. But, you're like, middle-aged and white. You don't have, any reason to be angry. Her defending counsel stated that she accepts that it was stupid. It was a single comment on a single day. She lives a quiet, sheltered life in Cheshire and has not troubled the courts in her long life. Well, too bad. Too bad. Now you got a criminal record. Now you're known to be a racist. Now when they run a DBS check on you, it's going to come out that you're not a trusted person. I hope you didn't need like a job or anything. She has been a primary carer for her husband since 2015. Well, he's going to have to look after himself, isn't he? Or maybe go into one of those excellent NHS nursing homes. I hear they're absolutely top-notch. Government just waiting in like a freaking elephant, just destroying people's lives left, right, and center. They love to do that. The conduct is firmly out of character for her, and she has shown genuine remorse. Well, tough shit. No suspended sentence for you. This offense was committed on her computer in the safety of her own home. How horrible. And unfortunately, pressing send for her is going to have dire consequences. Remember, think before you send. The commissar may be watching, or more than likely you'll get snitched on by some random freaking leftoid idiot. Check this out. When sentencing Sweeney, Judge Stephen Everett said, "You should have been looking at the news and media with horror, like every right-minded person." Yeah, tell me this isn't thought crime. This is clearly thought crime, right? You were not viewing these events like a right-minded person, therefore straight to jail. Instead, you chose to take part in stirring up hatred. How dare you, sir? You were part of a Facebook account which had 5,100 members. You had a big audience. You threatened a mosque wherever it was. She didn't even, I don't think she even threatened like a specific mosque. She was just like, it was a truly terrible, terrible threat. So-called keyboard warriors like you must learn to take responsibility for your disgusting and inflammatory language. You had an impressionable audience and potentially a vulnerable audience. Well, I mean, it was Facebook. So, that's true. Anyone using Facebook is probably impressionable and potentially vulnerable. I will give you that. Your comment was recklessly made rather than intentionally, but appropriate punishment can only be achieved by immediate straight to jail time. He took into account her previous good character and heartrending letter from her husband, who will presumably now be without a carer, but continued, in circumstances such as these, even people like you need to go to prison because a message must go out that if you do these terrible acts, the court will say to you, you must go to prison. So, I mean, the question, I guess, is... If she had a criminal record or did not have these character references, would she have gotten 3 years for this comment? No, I think basically what's happened is that the government under Keir Starmer has low-key just sort of declared a state of emergency, a sort of mini state of emergency, a new normal, if you were, and just decided we're just gonna lock everyone up because we have all those new prison spaces, don't you know? Oh well, I guess we'll have to let out a bunch of rapists and murderers early then. We will not tolerate this kind of behavior. As this case demonstrates, there is nowhere to hide. I bet you any money that her Facebook account was under her real name. And it's Facebook, of course, So, if the police call Facebook, they'll be absolutely like, here's the person's details right away. We also have this. A UK man arrested for social media posts containing anti-establishment rhetoric. Ooh. Not the anti-establishment rhetoric, bros. No. Oh, Patriots Flow. Good to see you now. Good to see you, man. This is quite a short story. This is from the BBC. A 40-year-old man has appeared in court charged with publishing written material online to stir up racial hatred. Wayne O'Rourke of Salix Approach Lincoln, otherwise known as, Wayne GB 88, has he been sentenced? Oh, right, no, so he hasn't entered a plea, but he's being charged now as well. He allegedly expressed support for the recent riots and offered advice on how to remain anonymous to his 90,000 followers. Oh no, bros. Oh no. Oh no. Fuck, mate. I mean, this is crazy. So this is the guy's account. He's, basically like a Tommy supporter. Here's him posting some footage of immigrants coming in, stuff on two-tier policing, various migrant crimes, I believe. Very, very, very terrible. Very, very, very terrible. Look at this stuff. Oh my God, I can't believe that he was posting this kind of stuff. Bro, terrible, terrible. Meanwhile, of course, wait. Hang on. Okay, so, wait, I'm just going to move this over. Now, the thing is, right, there's a poll that recently came out from We Think Polling. I have no idea if they're a good polling company or not. But what it suggests is that about a third of, no, more than a third, a bit more than a third of the country believes that when it comes to the refugee problem, violence is sometimes the only means that citizens have to get the attention of British politicians. This would suggest, bros, that essentially the Labour government would really, really like to gulag about a third of the entire UK population. Good luck with that, bros. Good luck with that. It breaks down pretty much the same. There are about between 35 to 40% of people who are very, very, very unhappy with mass migration. Racists, in other words, obviously. There are also 35% of people think that the recent events were a mix of riots and protests. Only about 9% would describe as domestic terrorism, 6% as only protests, etc., etc. How does it make you feel? 43% are concerned, 40% are disgusted, 37% are angry, 34% are sad, 27% are scared, frustrated, helpless. But, I mean, 4% are optimistic, 5% are indifferent, 5% are patriotic, 4% are proud, 2% are energized, and 2% are grateful. Okay. Of course, it breaks down via party lines, as per usual. All the lefties are like, oh my God, I'm so sad, it's terrible. What do the British public think are the top 3 reasons for the riots in the UK? Oh my God, immigration and racism, literally neck and neck in the top running sort of thing. So they asked for 3 answers, by the way. 50% are like, it's just the violence, 37% political discontent, 30% in economic inequality, and 27% selfishness. So it really seems basically that the new political divide, I mean, it's not really that new, is whether you think immigration is a problem or whether you be racist, bro. Let's see. 54% of people said that they... Wait, does that say they support racism? Is that what they're... Wait. Do you support the goals and motivations of the riots? And what are the top 3 reasons why they happen? Right, okay. So among the people who support the riots, 54% think that they were caused by racism, 32% think it was caused by violence for its own sake. 80% think it was caused by immigration. But even 63% of people who oppose the goals of the riots think that immigration was the primary driver. 81% think race. So we're getting this weird crossover, bros, where although obviously it'd be racist to point any of this kind of like stuff out, it does seem that even the normies are starting to say, well, you know, there might be a reason why there's so much friction. I, of course, you know, am probably not allowed to say what that reason might be, bros. I leave that up, you know, to your own speculation. I'll just take a sip from my toxicity barrel here. Oh, proper pictures. Good to see you, man. Let's see. So we already went over the rest of that. Meanwhile, while this is going on, for no reason whatsoever, probably all the white racists, violent attacks against women on trains rise by more than 50% over the last 2 years. Number of cases of sexual harassment have doubled. Number of sexual offences has risen by 10%. Part and parcel of city. I believe this is across the entire country, not just in London. I'm pretty sure if you looked at London, the figures would be like massively higher. 51% of those who have been victims of sexual offending said that other passengers have tried to help them. Most of the time it takes places during rush hour. And Jess Phillips, of course, is like, oh, well, my women and girls. Yeah, because that's literally all she cares about. As far as Jess Phillips is concerned, all men could basically go jump off a cliff and she wouldn't give a crap unless she needed their vote. In this day and age, no woman should have to plan her journeys by public transport based on where and when she will feel safe. And yet that is a daily experience for millions of women, whether they are commuting to and from work or arranging an evening out with friends. Getting on a night bus or near empty train to go home should not feel like taking your life in your hands. Well, why does it feel like taking your life in your hands? Just men. You know, just men. No particular characteristics about the kind of men of every age, of every kind, of every race, of every ethnicity, just men, bros, you know. Men could be here, he thought. These figures reflect an increase in reporting. It's unclear. Oh, we have an entropy. Wait, let me get to the, where is it? He's unique for $3. I wouldn't even attack her on a train. Oh, yes, straight to Gulag. That is a very, very inappropriate comment. I can't believe you would say something like that, yes. Yeah, so there's a new app which allows you to like snitch on people. Awesome. Yeah, it's not going to help. So, you know, that's great. So anyway, that's enough of that. I don't know how far they're going to push this whole arresting people on social media thing. They might have just basically said, well, look, if we can't, you know, shut down Twitter at the source, we're just going to have to start, you know, arresting random people and just hope that it impacts people's freedom of speech. I mean, you know, impacts their ability to go against the narrative. I mean, you know, locks up all the racists. Like, take your pick, right? J. Chief loophole, they will find and extradite you. Yes. He's just gonna wake up in rural Tennessee and like hear like, oi, you got an address for that American we trying to track down? Yeah, it's taped next to me bottle of water. Have you got your bobby stick? Who's this girl we're looking for? I think her name is Yiz or something. She's probably down there, past the trees. Chip chap, hey, let's go. What you doing here, Bobby? You ain't from around here, are you? Oh, dude, that would make a hilarious movie. Right, so on to our next story. The Nordstream sabotage. So a couple of things started like popping up over the last few days. Germany has issued an arrest warrant in the Nordstream sabotage investigation. This was from yesterday. Allegedly, German officials have obtained an arrest warrant for a Ukrainian citizen named Vladimir Z. Okay? Really? I mean, maybe Vladimir Z is a very, very common Ukrainian name, right? Like maybe it's like, the Ukrainian version of, the English name Muhammad or something like that, right? I don't know why they didn't release his full name. So this happened in June. He was living in Poland, but then he fled Poland and went back to Ukraine. And of course, Ukraine isn't going to extradite them. He was a diver wanted in connection with the Nordstream explosion that rocked the natural gas pipeline. Ultimately, he was not detained because at the beginning of July, he left Polish territory, crossing the Ukrainian border. And in case you guys didn't know, there basically is no Polish-Ukrainian border anymore. I mean, there is in law, but in actual fact, basically, there's no border. So it's very, very easy to cross. In February, Swedish and Danish authorities closed their investigation into who was behind the pipeline sabotage, basically being like, whoa! We don't know, bros. We don't know. Probably the Russians did it to themselves. You know what I mean, right? Remember that other time, the Russians blew up a bunch of their own stuff? Yeah, me neither. But, shut the fuck up. Now, of course, everyone will remember the Seymour Hersh article. Seymour Hersh, of course, the famous U.S. reporter who covered... Was it Watergate? Did Hersh cover, Watergate? Anyway, he's a very, very famous investigative reporter. He alleged that the US, in fact, blew it up with a, what did he say? So Hersh basically said that it was a bomb that was implanted by a team of divers that had a special receiver attached to it. And it had been laid possibly a year before the explosion. And that to trigger it, the Americans basically sent a plane over and pulsed a very, very strong encrypted signal that then detonated the pipeline. Of course, that sounds like a conspiracy theory to me, bros. Look at the Russians. What would the Russians know, right? Goddamn Putla and his lying eyes. They think that Zelensky gave the initial order from the Nordstream attack. Oh my God, they're quoting the Wall Street Journal. No. How am I supposed to disbelieve everything the Russians say when the Russians are quoting Western news sources? Those tricky Russians. Those sneaky Russians. There have been other leaks. Apparently there were agreements between Zelensky, that's a new way of spelling it, and Duda, not Dudu, but Duda, who I believe is was the president of Poland or someone high up in the Polish government, basically. Oh, Wibble gave me Odyssey coins. Oh, thank you very, very much, Wibble. 5 Odyssey coins. Thanks, mate. I very, very much appreciate it. And greetings, Wibble. Oh, and also, who else we got in the Odyssey chat? Teja. Good to see you, man. We also have Timmy Bobinson, Daily Rapture, Glenn Llewellyn, Charlie Reedy. We got all sorts of people in the YouTube chat. Good to see you guys. Anyone else in Rumble? Just Patriots Flow. Oh, Crispy13. Good to see you as well, mate. Yeah, I think it's everyone. Thanks a lot for coming along, everybody. So supposedly, basically, they had agreement between the Ukraine and Poland. This makes a lot of sense. And this is the Wall Street Journal article in question. Now, I had to archive it because Wall Street Journal will not let you access it if you're using a VPN anymore. Presumably, they got sick of people trolling them. A drunken evening. A rented yacht. A bottle of champagne. A collection of sex toys. And a large bottle of lubricant. The real story of the Nord Stream pipeline sabotage. Private businessmen funded the shoestring operation, which was then overseen by a top general. President Zelensky had approved of the plan and then unsuccessfully tried to call it off. I'm going to have to zoom out. Sorry if this makes it hard to read, but it's the only way I can see the whole thing. By Bojan Panchevsky for the Wall Street Journal. It was the kind of outlandish scheme that might bubble up in a bar around closing time, when everyone's going home wondering if they're going to get laid. In May of 2022, a handful of senior Ukrainian military officers and femboys and businessmen had gathered around to toast their country's remarkable success in halting the Russian femboy invasion. Buoyed by gooning, alcohol, and patriotic fervor, somebody suggested a late-night orgy, followed by a radical next step, destroying Nordstream. Bum, bum, bum. I have it on quite good authority on the rumor mill that this idea actually came to a general while he was in the middle of the afterglow of an incredibly explosive orgasm. I will not divulge any further. After all, the twin natural gas pipelines that carried Russian gas to Europe were providing billions to the Kremlin war machine. Yes. We know sabotage. Now, for the first time, the outlines of the real story can be told. This does read like a fan fiction, doesn't it? Cease this faggotry. I will not. How else am I supposed to get in with the government? Yes, you got to understand the position. You got to understand the position I'm in here. I got to pay back a high interest loan. The Ukrainian operation cost around $300,000 according to people who participated in it. It involved a small rented yacht with a 6-member crew, including trained civilian divers. One was a woman whose presence helped create the illusion they were a group of friends on a pleasure cruise. All right. So they have not named any of the people. This is sort of, all, unnamed sources kind of thing. So, take that for what it's worth. I always laugh when I read media speculation about some huge operation involving secret services, submarines, drones, and satellites. One officer who was involved in the plot said, the whole thing was born out of a night of heavy boozing and the iron determination of a handful of people who had the guts to risk their lives for their country. It didn't stop the war, though, did it? I mean, never mind. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky initially approved the plan, according to one officer who participated and 3 people familiar with it. But later, when the CIA learned of it and asked the Ukrainian president to pull the plug, he ordered a halt. Why would the Americans, after literally saying they wanted to destroy Nord Stream and doing literally everything in their power to stop it being built, suddenly be like, no, don't blow it up, no. Yeah, that doesn't pass the smell test to me. Zelensky's commander-in-chief, Valery Zaluzhny, who was leading the effort, nonetheless forged ahead. He was like, fuck you, Vladimir. Go back and do another line of cocaine. That pipeline has got to go. The general spoke to 4 senior Ukrainian defense and security officials who either participated in or had direct knowledge of the orgy and the plot afterwards. All of them said the pipelines were a legitimate target in Ukraine's war of defense against Russia. Portions of their account were corroborated by a nearly 2-year German police investigation into the attack, which has obtained evidence including email, mobile, and satellite phone communications, as well as fingerprints and DNA samples from the alleged sabotage team. The German inquiry hasn't directly linked President Zelensky to the clandestine operation. Zaluzhny, who is now Ukraine's ambassador to the United Kingdom. Holy shit. So what? He's probably living in London now. Oh, Lord Saints preserve us. Said in a text exchange that he knows nothing of any such operation and that any suggestions to the contrary is a mere provocation. Ukraine's armed forces, he added, weren't authorized to conduct overseas missions and therefore wouldn't have been involved. Oh, there you go. Convenient. So, yes, supposedly, basically, this has the potential to upend relations between Kiev and Berlin. Yeah, I wonder why, man. Which has provided much of the financing and military equipment to Ukraine, second only to the US. Some German political leaders may have been willing to overlook evidence pointing to Ukraine for fear of undermining domestic support for the war effort, but German police are politically independent. All right. And their investigation took on a life of its own as they pursued one lead after another. An attack of this scale is a sufficient reason to trigger the collective defense clause of NATO, but Ukraine is in NATO, so, But our critical infrastructure was blown up by a country that we support with massive weapons shipments and billions in cash. Could be a bit tricky. So wait, how did they do it? So I will summarize. Basically, they got like the yacht full of people. They were all like trained divers. They went down. They they had some MDX charges. They just like stuck it on the thing, allegedly, and just blew it up. So some of them were special forces. The CIA warned Zelensky to stop it. He tried, but then Zaluzhny said, "Operation is like bullet. Once it has left the gun, it cannot be recalled. I have no way to contact team because they are on radio silence." Which seems bullshit, by the way, because apparently the Germans have collected a bunch of cell phone traffic, satellite phone traffic, a bunch of DNA from this yacht here. Yeah, it's crazy. Allegedly, they did an unplanned stop in the Swedish port of Sandhamn. One diver accidentally dropped an explosive device to the bottom of the sea. Ooh, Butterfingers. Maybe that's why only one of the pipes got blown up. Just saying, because they didn't take out both of them. They only took out one. If someone butterfingered one of the charges, that might explain why they only had enough explosives to take on one. They were still flying a small Ukrainian flag on the boat. That seems stupid. Apparently, when they were in this little Swedish port, they looked really, really suspicious, and some people called the cops on them. So yes, this is the new narrative, bros. This is the new narrative. The Germans have masses of data, including digital communications, travel records, and financial transactions. Well, there you go. Yay, they did it, Reddit. They literally blew up, like, a pipeline. They have ruined the entire industrial base of Germany, one of their largest allies. Well, maybe not anymore. I guess we shall see. Apparently, though, there's no video surveillance available of the port because, there are cameras, but, the footage all got deleted. So there you go, bros. New narrative just dropped. It was, in fact, the Ukrainians, a bunch of Ukrainian soldiers just operating mostly on their own initiative. The Americans asked Zelensky to not do it, but Zelensky didn't know until the last moment, bro. So, there you go. There you go. Right. So, our last story. World Health Organization declares ultra-deadly monkeypox strain a public health emergency of international concern. Now, I must take issue with Mail Online here. It has been called Mpox now. Calling it monkeypox is very, very old language. Don't you know we live in current year? Oh, there we go. They've changed it for the next one. World Health Organization declared an ultra-deadly strain of monkeypox a global public health emergency. Officials said an outbreak of the virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo and its neighboring countries posed an international concern. The WHO's highest level alert. Oh, wow. Well, we could close the borders to anyone traveling from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Nah, that would be racist and shit, right? Like, we can't do that. We can't. What if instead we forced everybody in the entire world to take a highly untested vaccine that would make the manufacturers billions and millions of dollars? Now that is a much more sound idea, bros. No cases of the new strain have been reported in the US or the UK yet, but the American CDC is urging doctors to be extra vigilant for symptoms like skin rashes and lesions among gay men. Right? Experts have warned that disease, which spreads primarily through sex in gay and bisexual men, feels very similar to the beginning of the AIDS crisis due to how it circulates. You could just stop with the gayness. I don't know. It's not a choice. I keep getting told. Coincidentally, the news comes the same day as Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told his country to prepare for a new hypothetical virus that could rival COVID. Oh, for fuck's sake. Seriously? Oh, that's not bad. That's not good. Trudeau's like, oh, nobody respects me anymore. You know what we need? We need a new crisis. Canadian government has issued advice warning citizens to prepare for a hypothetical new virus that could lead to food and fuel disruptions. Yeah, well, I totally believe Trudeau. when it comes to that. The Center for Occupational Health and Safety rolled out a second edition of their flu and infectious disease outbreaks business continuity plan handbook. So it's not an official announcement. It's just a handbook. Okay, right. So that's not, yeah, right. So yes, it's coming from the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, in the town of Kamituga, a poor and densely packed gold mining town with highly itinerant population, just 170 miles from the Rwandan border. It sounds like a lovely place. I imagine they have a great tourist industry. Oh, God, it's probably hell on earth, honestly. Director General of the WHO, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Comrade Ghebreyesus, as we like to call him here in the Revolutionary Bolshevik Party, said Wednesday it is clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives. WHO, they really do need another public health emergency, don't they? I mean, after COVID, right? Like, where are they going to get their fix from, right? COVID happens, and they're the most important people in the world. Everyone be phoning up Tedros, being like, "Look, I know, you were basically like a, high up in the communist government, helping to organize, all the horrible genocide in Tigray. But now you're a respectable person. Tell us what to do." And he must be like, "I'm very, very happy to tell you what to do." I believe we have some quotes here from Tedros himself. Here we go.
Today, the emergency committee met and advised me that, in its view, the situation constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. I have accepted that advice. The detection and rapid spread of a new clade of Mpox in eastern DRC, its detection in neighboring countries that had not previously reported Mpox, and the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. In addition to other outbreaks of other clades of Mpox in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives. Today,
So there you go. Tedros has spoken. It's a public health emergency of international concern. I mean, if I remember this correctly, under the terms of the WHO treaty, this basically gives the WHO complete control over the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, viewed in sort of a wider geopolitical sort of like thing, there is a sort of, well, not exactly a shadow war, but a sort of war going on between Russia, China, and the West in Africa. I mean, obviously, only white people can be colonizers, so the Chinese are perfectly innocent. In this, the Chinese cannot be colonizers, right? You'll have to invent a new word that means exactly the same thing. Now, this sort of like spiked off after a whole bunch of like countries in the center of Africa essentially kicked out the West, essentially partitioning Africa between the north and the south through, I think, Mali, Guinea-Bissau. There's like a whole, they all like went to Russia. Now, let me just get like Google Maps going here. Let me see. Africa. Right. So, okay, so I don't know if you can see my mouse, but basically the Russians took over Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, Central African Republic, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and I don't know, Eritrea, thus basically cutting off the north part of Africa from the south part of Africa in terms of NGO influence and stuff like that. Now, interestingly enough, of course, the Democratic Republic of Congo is immediately south of these countries. Is that yeah, there you go, Republic of Congo. Right, so I don't know whether there is a geopolitical aspect to this, but it wouldn't surprise me. DRC is a huge fucking country, right? Like, it's massive, and, you know, there's not a lot of civilization there. I think they've got, like, one major city, Lubumbashi, Kinshasa, on the border with the Republic of Congo. Yes, so, I mean, most of that is basically forest. if I recall correctly. So, possibly have to do with, lithium mines or something. I don't really know. I don't trust the WHO as far as I can throw them now. So I am immediately suspicious of anything they do. This is the announcement from the World Health Organization itself. I think they're basically saying, in 2022, it spread rapidly, right up until the time. This 4chan post. Remember when monkeypox was a thing and it turned out it was mostly present in gay people, leading people to realize it was pretty much a sexually transmitted disease getting spread at gay orgies, which are way more common than people ever knew. And then dogs and children in close proximity to gay people started to get monkeypox. Somehow, nobody knows how they got it. And then monkeypox suddenly left the news as quickly as it arrived. Crazy, huh? Yeah, Pepperidge Farms remembers. But it seems like it's back, bros. And if you mention that it is linked to degenerate behavior, you are probably a bigot and a racist at this point, right? But it's a new strain, Clade 1b, which appears to be spreading mainly through sexual networks. I presume it also massively spreads through prostitution in poor countries. Gross. And now the WHO is working with countries and vaccine manufacturers on potential vaccine donations, coordinating partners, immediate funding, more money. So there you go. It's back, bros. Now, Dr. Robert Malone, who, if you know from like the COVID thing, was one of the people who sort of developed the whole mRNA technology and then was later excommunicated for daring to say bad things about the COVID vaccine. He, of course, believes that this is basically more fear porn. To be fair, Robert always thinks that these kinds of things are fear porn. He may be right. So apparently the majority of cases are asymptomatic. According to the WHO's own document, for men having sex with men who have other chronic immunosuppressive diseases such as HIV, Mpox may be a real threat, but for the rest of us, not so much. Right, so you have to have AIDS or immunocompromised system for it even to get this bad. Okay, that's all right. The majority of cases are asymptomatic, so the mortality rate is not known. In the US, there have been 32,000 cases with 58 deaths. Although, I mean, it does seem to be very unpleasant. If you've seen some of the photos, don't look at them if you're planning on eating in the near future. So Robert's basically saying more money, 2 vaccines, and the new deadly strain. But the strain apparently is not more deadly. And they've got like no idea sort of like why it's just a different strain. So, it's probably just the WHO trying to justify its existence. The classic thing with COVID still comes up again. Are deaths being counted from monkeypox or with monkeypox? Are they basing that on external symptoms or just on testing? Nothing's really changed, basically, right? So there you go. Let's see, what else have we got here? ProMed basically says there's like 24 cases in South Africa, 2 cases in Uganda that are imported, 1 case in Kenya. So it's not really a huge thing. Even the Congo. So the Congo reckons they've got 13,000 suspected cases this year. Again, how do they determine that? Including 503 deaths so far. Again, how do they determine that? Congo, of course, being sort of, a massively third world country, there's probably huge parts of the country where, there's barely any government at all and it's just basically run by gangs and mafia and stuff like that. Oh, Cthulhu loves you. Good to see you, sir. I'm sure Cthulhu would be very, very happy with the monkeypox outbreak. I know he likes that kind of stuff. I won't scroll down the Wikipedia article because it's fucking gross. Anyway, that is the end of the news, bros. I hope you have all enjoyed it. I hope you are enjoying the decline. And it is now time for everybody's favorite part of the show, the cringe, bros. Right, okay, wait. Let me get the window up. Come on. I know what I'm doing. You can't prove that I don't. Doge. Always makes me feel happy. Rest in peace, Doge. Right. Okay. So we start off with. Oh my God. So this is cringe. As someone who, sort of studies politics, this to me is far worse than the trans cringe. So in case you weren't aware, there is like a youth parliament being done in the UK. In tried and true parliamentary tradition, they are already basically like sort of exiling people who are in any way involved with reform, because what good is a parliament if you can't make sure to keep your ideological opponents out? Exactly the kind of thing that were the other side to do it, they would be up in arms being like, oh, it's so unfair. But when they do it, it's like, oh, well, we can't deal with the far right. Makes sense, right? Check this shit out.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Many people in the UK will remember when homosexuality was illegal. Gay citizens were labelled insane by doctors, predatory by broadcasters, and criminal by the police.
My name is Haruna Ashad and I'm from the local authority of Birmingham, and I'd like to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Because I'm proud to be Muslim and I'm proud to be Pakistani.
I think it's time that we step away from a focus on grades and step towards producing citizens.
I wish one of those kids would like stand up and be like, my name is John and I'm from Birmingham. I'm proud to be English and I'm proud to be white. Everyone like, look, he's proud to be white. Oh, round of applause.
It's fit for society.
And therefore I urge you very strongly not to vote for mental health as your top priority, but to think of the future.
And that is why I want to stand here and speak on a motion that I believe affects us the most, and yet we don't know about it. And that's the issue of Kashmir.
Nationalism means you have to be a certain whoever to be accepted. The epidemic of knife crime killing our nation blamed on young black males. The horrific reign of terror.
Yes, why would they be blaming knife crime on young black males? That's terribly unfair. Fucking hell. Oh, she's gonna get this girl is gonna go far. I can see she has a bright future in politics.
Terrorism attributed entirely to Islam. The gender pay gap, who is it blamed on? Women. And what does this lead to? Hate crime.
As a young person, I've not been taught the true importance of consent from a place I spent most of my time at school. It is no coincidence that in the week following Boris Johnson's Telegraph column labelling veiled Muslim women as bank robbers and letterboxes, a 375% increase in Islamophobic incidents was reported.
Go on, get your burqa on, honey. I'm sure she's very, very into Islam. Look at what she's wearing, right? Like no shoulders allowed. No exposed hair. Oh my God, it's literally like chickens, like, being like, oh, please come and cook us. God damn. Oh, I said the popular thing. I said the current thing. Oh, God damn it. This, by the way, is why the powers that be want more women in leadership roles. Because of shit like this. Because, they're easier to influence. They're more susceptible to social proof, and they're just, oh my God, yeah. So anyway, this is the guy, Charlie Simpson. He resigned as a member of the Youth Parliament after basically being kicked out for working with the Reform Party, and obviously, therefore, being a racist, bro. I don't know. Seems like a relatively nice looking chap. It does look a bit gammon. Ooh, we're not allowed to have those kind of people in Parliament, don't you know? Now, are you hungry for digital ID? Is that what will heal the wounds in your soul? Well, the Australians certainly think so. In another stunning display of Australian propaganda, which is a bit like English propaganda, only like it's a little bit more sort of like gay. They're talking about how convenient this is going to be, man. Yeah, they're totally doing it, by the way. Coming soon to a country near you, bros.
Australians won't have to pull out their licence at the pub anymore under a gold standard digital ID being developed. Government Services Minister.
Oh, it's a gold standard, bros. Why is it a gold standard? Oh, because the government said it's a gold standard. Oh, did you know it's a gold standard? It's a gold standard, bro. It's not just a digital ID. It's a gold standard digital ID. Don't you know everything is the best in Australia, bros? It's the gold standard. Fucking pillocks.
Minister Bill Shorten is today unveiling the new initiative. It means when you enter a club or hotel, a digital token will be sent to that business to verify you are who you say you are without transferring them your data. It also cracks down on scammers by limiting data shared with businesses. Australians won't.
Now, I mean, okay, to be fair, this is, one of the few advantages of this kind of a system. You don't have to actually give your data to random businesses. Instead, you just give it to the government who already has all of it anyway. But of course, there's a massive single point of failure. Don't forget what happened with India's Aadhaar system, which got hacked about a year after it was spun up, leaking the details of 1 billion people onto the dark web. But I'm sure that will never happen again, bros. Now, this is quite funny. This is both cringe and a bit of a white pill. General acknowledgement of anti-white racism has now become so big that famously stunning and brave bald woman Joy Reid has to actually mention it. Things are bad, mate, when they can't just ignore it. Check it out.
Republicans like Vance and Trump advisor Stephen Miller, who is tangentially connected to Project 2025, have made it a point to block these disbursements. In Project 2025, folks like Miller, Vance, and Trump want to nationalize their long-term goal of putting a stop to what they call anti-white racism, which is just another way of saying we're sick of America being held accountable for actual racism. Republicans like Vance and Trump.
Oh no, they'll get rid of anti-white racism. Oh, that'd be horrible, bro. Oh no, what about my grifting bucks? We're the oppressed one. You can't take our oppressed status away from us, bros. Come on. I have some Kamala clips for you. Mate, she better not get elected, because if I've got to cover this fucking bitch for 4 years, I'm going to have an aneurysm. Woof.
I was hoping maybe we wouldn't have to.
I called you, Tim.
Yes.
You didn't answer, Tim.
I know.
What happened?
The most important call of my life. It popped up, and we didn't recognize the caller ID. And it went to voicemail.
There you go. Hey, Tim, it's Carla. I really want to talk to you.
It is an amazing privilege. I'm excited. I just want to be part of the excitement that you're generating.
Well, we're doing it together, buddy. We're doing it together.
He just wants to be part of the excitement, bros. I just really wanted to be part of the excitement. Yeah, he sounds really excited. I really want to know, right? Did Walls actually sort of sign on willingly, right? Was he the first choice, or I know they wanted Josh Shapiro, but being Jewish, it's a bit sort of a bit de rigueur given the current political situation, right? Did they have to pressure him to take the job? So many questions, bro. So many questions. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. This is from a while back when Kamala Harris was still pretending to be the vice president. Check this out. We have the echo back. Maybe I didn't turn off the microphone. Thanks for telling me, Sadie's.
Welcome, you guys. Ready to start? Okay, go. So, I may not always be fast to take my parents' advice, but what is the best advice your parents have given you that perhaps you can share with us today?
You know, one of the most important pieces of advice that I can offer you guys, and I want you to really remember this: never let anybody tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
As long as who you are is, in accordance with the government narrative. If, what you are happens to go against the government narrative, then you should absolutely tell other people who you are, right? If you want to be heterosexual or whatever, absolutely do not do that.
Never let anybody suggest to you that you are what they think you should be. You tell them who you are, and who you know you are, and what you intend to be. Got that?
Yes.
All right. I got more advice usually.
So what is the most surprising thing you found about being vice president?
There have been a lot of things because I've never been vice president before. So there are many new things, but I'll tell you one of the things that I'm really excited about, and one of the reasons for our visit and the time we're going to spend time together today is space camps. My mom was a scientist, so she would take us to the lab with her, like on the weekends.
Kamala's mum was a scientist? Can someone fact check that for me? I know her dad was a Marxist economist, which, you know, basically means, oh, by the way, in case you haven't heard, Kamala's latest policy proposal is price controls on food to stop inflation. So, yeah, they're basically speed running Venezuelan socialism here. Oh, it should be great. Should be great, bros. Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, Marxist economics. Fucking.
And after school, because she had to work long hours. And I just love the idea of exploring the unknown. And then there's other things that we just haven't figured out or discovered yet. To think about so much that's out there that we still have to learn. Like, I love that. I love that. And so I'm very excited about the Space Council. We're going to learn so much as we increasingly, I think, are curious and interested in the potential for the discoveries and the work we can do in space. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about. But
the things you can do in space. Have you seen what DEI is doing to the US space program? Just out of curiosity. You know, there was that woman that they put up in the space station who then drilled a hole in the space station because she wanted to go home and completely wrecked the entire thing. And now, like, you know, there's a Boeing thing like stuck in one of the entry hatches, and the US is basically saying that what they really should do is deorbit the space station and crash it into the sea. I mean, anyway.
You guys are going to see. You're going to literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. With your own eyes.
I'm going to press X to doubt there. You're literally going to see the craters on the moon with your own eyeballs. Really? Really?
I'm telling you, it is going to be unbelievable. So that's one of the things we can do here too, which makes it so exciting. So that's what we're going to do. You guys ready to go there?
Yeah!
Oh, come on, let's go!
Oh, God, let's go! Teabagging therapist. The scientist that you are talking about who thought that plants were socialist was Timofey Lysenko. Oh, Year's already answered you. All right, there you go. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is good. Check this out.
Never learned about the history of education. I started questioning what I was doing as a teacher by reading the book Dumbing Us Down by John Taylor Gatto. I love that book so much that I decided to read other books by him, and one of the books that he wrote is An Underground History of American Education. I read through that whole book and became absolutely convinced that if people knew the history of American education, we would not be doing what we're doing. Here are some quotes from people who helped to set up our American education system. What is the purpose of industrial education? To fill the young of the species with knowledge and awaken their intelligence? Nothing could be further from the truth. The aim is simply to reduce as many individuals as possible to the same safe level, to breed and train a standardized citizenry, to put down dissent and originality. That is its aim in the United States, and that is its aim everywhere else. H.L. Mencken. If the public schools can keep the children occupied throughout the day with sports after school and homework in the evening, the parents will have less than an hour a day with their children, and the families and Christian church's influence over them could be broken in about a generation. John Dewey. We who are engaged in the sacred cause of education are entitled to look upon all parents as having given hostages to our cause. Horace Mann. Education should aim at destroying free will so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters would have wished. Johann Gutmann.
Yeah, it's education. It's good for you, bros. Look at all the incredible results we have achieved. This is quite funny. Sorry, this is a bit low resolution. This is the only one I could find with a translate. This is a Japanese news host basically explaining the 2016 election, the whole Trump thing. This is really, really funny.
Go back to the presidential election 6 years ago and look at it. First, here is this. It was 2016. Mr. Bannon, who later became the chief strategist, created the Trump phenomenon and was said to be the father of the government. Around this time, the alt-right, another right-wing movement, which was called the far right, a white ideological force, was on an equal footing. And now, in this presidential election, there is this idea that America needs a monarchy, influenced by the ideologue Mr. Yavin.
literally mentioning Curtis Yavin on Japanese TV as being an influence over J.D. Vance. Awesome.
Vance, who is said to be a symbol of the new right, is now a candidate for vice president. Professor Jim Grossman, who was interviewed this time, said that the new right dreams of making Mr. Trump an American Caesar, following the example of the ancient Roman Empire and handing over the sword to Mr. Vance. And he said that his ideal candidate would be President Putin. Yes, so his ideal candidate would be President Putin.
There you go. You heard it first, bros, from Japanese television. Trump is the next American Caesar. This is kind of funny. Check it out.
Was your love life better when you were dating men before conversion therapy?
No.
I feel like you're not being totally open with me. How about you, Jason?
Well, I'm swiping right, but a lot of women seem to be swiping left.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at your dating profile. Did you take this at Coachella?
Yeah, I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan. What?
What? His producer's white.
Do you feel comfortable talking to women, Chris?
Of course.
Well, let's take a look at your dating profile.
Okay, well, this is a huge red flag. No, it's a Nazi flag.
Exactly. Your dating profile is just a picture of a swastika and one line that says, I used to be gay, but I'm not anymore.
Just direct and to the point.
And why are you on J-Date?
To see who I'm fighting. There's also some very pretty girls on there. Dangerous.
When was the last time you were on an actual date?
A few months ago.
How did it go?
I thought it was going great. We went out for drinks.
Okay.
And walked her home.
That's nice.
That's when I told her about white genocide and how we needed to reproduce pure blood babies to save the race. You know what that bitch did?
Ran?
Yeah, and that was it. She never called me again.
Well, it sounds like maybe you were moving a little too fast.
What do you mean?
You know, it's common for a straight man.
That's me, I'm me.
It's common for a straight man to want to have sex on the first date. But not a lot of guys want to impregnate a woman on their first date.
Well, there's no time. White genocide is already here. You don't get it.
Jason, you don't have to raise your hand.
I find women don't like me hitting on them when I'm carrying my gun.
Well, maybe it has less to do with the gun, more to do with the man carrying it. What do you think about that?
I think that's bullshit. I think a gun enhances Jason's superiority. And I have seen the women he hits on. They do not deserve him.
Really?
Yeah, look at him.
Okay, well, it's important that we keep working on ourselves and continue trying to find that connection.
What does it matter? Who wants a woman who's laid with a minority? I mean, look at Ivanka Trump.
Whoa, hold on. What about Ivanka Trump?
Heidi Klum or Kelly Ripa.
Those are all very successful women with very successful husbands. That's what you're aiming for?
I just don't get it. How could Ivanka Trump pick that Zionist when she could be with me?
Why would she be with you?
Purity of blood?
Do you realize how much you're sweating right now?
Purity of sweat?
She might be attracted to Jared Kushner because he's incredibly wealthy.
Aren't they all?
Successful people? Most of them, sure.
You know what I'm talking about. They sit there and they count their money and their women and their media companies.
And you think you're superior to that person?
She would be with me if it wasn't for that Jew.
Well, no, actually, I think she'd be with me.
I mean, we're both superior, but I think I'm the more superior.
I can dance, and I would show her a good time.
I've seen you dance. She would never reproduce with you.
You have a rabbi in the family.
He is a fourth cousin.
He's a rabbi!
Guys, Ivanka Trump wouldn't find any of this attractive.
Because she's been corrupted by the Zionists.
No, because you're both behaving incredibly lame.
Oh, you can make your jokes, but I'm going to protect my race. This is a superior race.
Instead of saying you're superior, how about being the most superior individual you can be? Because if you're really worried about white genocide, You should put down the tiki torches and pick up some qualities that will make women actually want to fuck you. Jason?
I want that. I want a woman to fuck me.
Okay. Great. We can work on that.
Race trainer!
Hey, thanks so much for watching my video.
Oh, mate, I really enjoyed that. Lou Perez, check it out. Yeah, that was good. We got some wise and sage words from Donald Trump here.
I used to tickle my pickle to Angry Birds. I had every game and bought every toy they had. One fateful day, all of a sudden, the big red bird turned me on. I couldn't stand it. I was going crazy. So I decided to pull out my big snake and start strangling it.
You shouldn't be saying this so close to election season. I don't know what this is.
Trump said on this video that he likes kissing pretty women and that...
You don't?
Sir, can I finish?
You like kissing ugly women?
Excuse me.
Right. We are relaxing into the cute animals section. Check this out.
For the purposes of, town hall, let's just get into let's just get in via like
Raccoon Apocalypse, Part 3. It was a raccoon. It's a rat? Oh, okay, right. I thought it was a raccoon. Right. Cute animal videos time. Enjoy. This is awesome.
Where's the bread? What happened to the bread? Did you eat the bread that was on this? Look at me. Blueberry, look at me. Did you eat the whole loaf of sourdough bread? Look at me. Blueberry, Blueberry, look at me. Blueberry, 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 look at me. Did you do this? Blueberry, look at me right now. Blueberry, did you eat all of this bread? The whole entire loaf? Blueberry, still warm? Blueberry, honey wheat sourdough sandwich bread, did you eat the whole loaf? Was it delicious? Blueberry, I hope you enjoyed it. I really do. Because you're not getting any supper now. Look at me. Blueberry, look at me right now. Did you eat this bread? Did you eat the bread that was on this? Look at me right now. Blueberry.
Oh, it's hard to be angry with something that cute. Yes, this is why women shouldn't be leaders. Yeah, we have more guilty dogs here. Aww. It wasn't me. Must have been that other corgi. We got a lot of cute doggos. Thank you to Sadie Sapiente for sending me these, by the way. Check it out.
Is it cold?
No, it's not cold.
Are you cold?
No, I'm not cold.
You're not cold?
No.
You want to get out?
No.
Are you cold?
No.
What else do we got? More cute doggos.
I'm trying to... Hey, well... Yeah, well... What are you yelling at me for? I didn't push you off. Hey, I'm trying to watch Dog, starring Channing Tatum.
I don't care. Now what? I don't want that.
Aww. Oh, we got some wolves. This is really, really awesome. So majestic. What else have we got? I think this is another cute doggo clip. Aw, it'd be funny if he banged into the camera. Oh, and this is for Fox 39 Forever. I've never seen a fox look quite like this. Check it out.
Calling you say.
Aww. And our last cute animal video of the night. Some beautiful cats by a river. Aww. So cute. Right, that's the end of the show, everyone. Thanks for coming. I will be on Empire of Lies on Yiz's channel in about an hour and a half. Tonight, the Club of Rome, the Earth for All document, and the horrible stuff they are about to do to the country of Austria. I hope to see you there. Let's say a quick goodbye to everyone in the chat. In Rumble, Fox39 Forever, J Chiva Loophole, Yiz the Eunuch, Sede Sapiente, Total Blackout Painting, Cthulhu Loves You. Who else we got in here? J Chiva Loophole, Teabagging Therapist, Livia Drusilla, Wyatt's Torch, Patriots Flow. Good to see you all. Thanks for coming, guys. And Cthulhu Loves You as well. In the YouTube chat, we have Glenn Llewellyn, Charlie Reedy, Victorian Time Traveller, The Nameless One, Cyberchud Internal Affairs, Victorian Time Traveller. I think you got 2 there. I think that's everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And on the Odyssey chat, we have Wibble. Thanks very much for the Odyssey coins, by the way, mate. Tasia and Pelagius14. Good to see you all. Hopefully I'll see you at Empire of Lies tonight. If not, I will be back on Monday. I hope you all have a great weekend. Good night, everybody.